What's up guys, this is Grant and today we're doing cylinder head porting 101. We're going to go over the tools you need to port your cylinder head, how to port, doing a mild port job cleaning up the cylinder head, where to carve out those little bits and pieces of your head without screwing anything up, and what kind of gains you're going to see. So let's go check it out.
So what is cylinder head porting? Cylinder head porting in a nutshell is modifying the intake and exhaust ports to increase airflow, the volume of air measured in cubic feet per minute, while maintaining port velocity, or how fast the air goes. So you want to maintain that air speed while increasing the volume of air coming in and out of your engine. So why should you port your cylinder head? Well, most cylinder heads flow adequately for stock RPMs. So if you have a stock governed engine, you don't need to port it at all. Let's say you're doing stage 1 mods. Okay, so that's high flow intake, rejet, high flow exhaust. Those modifications all allow air to more efficiently pass into the engine and pass out of the engine. Porting increases the engine efficiency by allowing a more efficient pathway for the air to travel through. More efficiency translates into gains. So what kind of gains are you going to see? Well, for a Predator 212 or a clone engine, you're going to see, all else the same, between two engines, one ported, one not, you're going to see an increase in 200 RPM and a max horsepower increase from 0.3 to 0.5. So that's about a 7% increase in performance overall by simply porting. So which engine cylinder head can I port? Well, this video applies to all industrial small engines, which includes these ones. And more, okay? It's a lot. Pretty much if you have an overhead valve engine that's a small engine, this applies to it because the heads are pretty much all about the same. So how do you port a cylinder head? Let's go check out the tools. So the main tool you'll need is a rotary die grinder. I'm using a Dremel, anything that spins, okay? And a variety of attachments to remove the material. This is a tungsten carbide bit set. You can get it for about 12 bucks. I got a link in the description for that. You can use some sort of grinding stones and then these easy drums or sanding drums. If you're going to polish the exhaust, you can have a polishing pad. We're looking at the intake here. The intake runner has casting flaws that need to be removed. Okay, so that's what it's like beforehand. And then if you look where the outline is here, that is the port to bowl transition, which needs to be knocked down. And then this portion here is where the intake insulator is. And I went ahead and ground that out with the sanding drum, not making the port larger, but matching it to the port. So where I'm putting my finger right here is known as the port floor, or the short side radius, okay? So this is the part where air has the most difficulty in transitioning from the port into the valve space and into the head. So you just take your tungsten carbide bit and very carefully, you want to be very careful here. You don't want to hit those seats, okay? You just want to take a little bit of material out at a time, just working it, filling it with your finger so you can kind of get a feel for it, and then take a little bit more material out. So this is just another view. We're removing additional material here on that short side radius, the port floor, because we want to have a nice smooth transition, and then we're also doing a little bit of the sides where it transitions into the bowl. Then down here, which is the roof of the port, okay, we are just knocking that edge down ever so slightly and blending it into the edge of where the valve guide is. And finally here, we are taking the seat where the bowl transitions into the seat. There was a little bit of a lip there. We're just blending them together so there's not a sudden transition. Exhaust side is on the left, intake is on the right, intake is finished, exhaust is not, just so you can see a comparison. This is the exhaust port with carbon buildup on it, and we're going to do pretty much the exact same thing we did on the intake. Short side radius, bowl to port transition, and you can see really well on the carbon buildup and where everything was removed exactly what material needs to be removed. It's not a lot. You just want to smooth out that sharp edge all around the bowl to port transition. This is the final product. Intake on the left, exhaust on the right. you have a nice smooth sandpaper finish. Okay, I took sandpaper and really worked it with my hands to get a nice smooth but slightly rough finish, because you want the fuel to stay atomized, especially on the intake. You can polish the exhaust if you want. So this is the intake runner. I took the Dremel to it with the sandpaper drum. Same for the exhaust. Removed all those casting flaws. And then go ahead and clean up your head and install your valves with a valve job. Make sure you don't hit those seats. So there you have it. That's how to port a small overhead valve engine cylinder head, knocking down those casting flaws in the ports, not enlarging the ports, and then knocking down the transition between the port runner and the bowl, which will give you about a 7% increase in performance. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a ton. It will also help others trying to find the video. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Also, keep in mind that this is a mild port job, okay? So if you're gonna have a huge aggressive cam and high compression ratio, oversized valves and whatnot, you need to get a race head, okay? This is for the DIY person that wants to save some money, get some free performance increase, okay? So check out the links below for any of the tools I used in the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys.